if we are all drunk, ready to go, I will say that we shall begin this little story, which takes place in 1837. In the area of in the Carpathian Mountains. So Hungary, Romania, Russia, Czechoslovakia, all those areas are connected to the Carpathian Mountains. And that is where we begin our story tonight. We are playing Vaesen, published by Your League Publishing. Game of folk horror. And we've already landed in trouble as the music's not working. Okay, I know what's wrong.
Damn it, Tim.
Right now. Fixed. Look at that. Fixed it. Record time. The Carpathian Mountains rise like a jagged spine against the sky, their peaks gnawing at low-hanging clouds. Ancient forests cling to their slopes, black fir and twisted pine, their branches heavy with frost and secrets older than memory. The wind in turn howls, whispers, slipping through ravines and dead valleys, carrying with it the whispers of this ancient place. Even in daylight, the mountains seem to brood, their shadows long and watchful, as if the land itself is aware of those who would trespass upon it. As the road narrows and the cold deepens, we come upon the small hamlet of Dakov, a village crouched at the foot of the mountains like a thing seeking shelter. Smoke rises thinly from a handful of chimneys, quickly swallowed by the gray air. The houses are old, timbered, and leaning, their windows dark and unwelcoming. No laughter greets you, no dogs bark at your approach. The villagers move quietly, eyes lowered, voices hushed, as though sound itself might draw unwanted attention. Above them all, looming over Dakov, like a silent judge, stands Castle Voros. The castle is carved into the mountain's face, its towers clawing upward, black stone stark against the snow. Baron Voros rules these lands from within those walls. His name is one spoken only in murmurs, if at all. Some say he's merely a reclusive noble, others insist he's something far older, a dark being bound to the mountain and the night alike. Whatever the truth, the cold that grips Dakov does not come solely from the wind. It seeps from the castle above, from the land itself, and settles deep in the bones of all who linger here too long. This is where we see a pair of wary souls riding atop even warier horses. The mist and near constant rain has seeped deep into your bones, Gabriel and Hilda, and you have begun to think that being warm and dry is nothing but a distant dream. The muddy road sucks at your mount's hooves as if unwilling to let you draw any closer. Kids, dirty-faced, stare as you push by. Old wives close the shutters of their windows. Rough men, as dark-browed and rough-hewn as the trees of the mountain, spit on the ground after you pass and chew their pipe stems with gnarled teeth. What would all these fine people of Dakov see as you ride past, Gabriel and Hilda?
I believe as everyone is watching these two individuals make their way through town, you see a gentleman with his dapper hat on, special frame glasses, and just kind of a rucksack hanging over his shoulder that is filled with trinkets and stuff. Not that anyone can see, but you can see its jagged corners and disorganized inventory is just kind of sloshing around as the horse trots along the way. I imagine that Gabriel's taking second behind Dr. Hilda here and following whatever treads they may take.
On the horse, you see a striking woman. Not necessarily in beauty. While she's not unattractive, she is a bit odd. Her hair is sort of mussed in a sloppy bun. She wears a men's jacket over a blouse and practical skirt. Behind her is a medical bag, a black leather bag, strapped onto the horse as cargo with the defined red cross on the back of it. She wears large glasses, probably too thick for what her actual prescription would be, but she makes do. But what is most striking about her is she is peely-wally. She's very pale. She probably doesn't spend a whole lot of time outside, you could probably surmise. But she is wide-eyed and most notably with a tremble in her hands as they ride along. Though all that being said, she does ride confidently through the hamlet. She, I would imagine, knows the area pretty well, and at least knows how to speak to the people to navigate them.
You would know that the people here are not mean or evil or cruel in any way, shape, or form. It's just a hard life, and whenever they see, strangers come in, especially fairly well-dressed strangers, they know that it usually spells trouble. So they're not trying to... You're not in danger or anything like that. They're just would rather you move on as quickly as possible, so they're not being very hospitable about things. Is there anything you would like to do as you are making your way through this village and heading towards the address that you've been given? Is there anything you would like to say or do as you travel there?
Yeah, I think Hilda will look back to Gabriel and tell him, don't mind the people. It is just sort of their nature to shut away strangers.
Yeah, I took notice as he notices an elderly woman kind of slam her window shut as he passes by. It is very unwelcoming right now. I guess should get through as quickly as possible. I don't necessarily feel the safest.
Perhaps if we look at it less as unwelcoming and more as practical advances. Unfortunately, in these regions, and perhaps just a notion of the society within the area, is that to see strangers on horseback is not quite normal and can be troublesome. And although we are not troublesome, unfortunately, this is just the way the things are.
Understood. So judge the book before opening the cover. All right. Well, if it keeps one safe, I am all for that. So
yes,
please, wherever we must go.
Are we riding directly through the hamlet? Like,
yeah, it's
main
not a
street?
very big. Yeah, it's not a very big village or town. So you're kind of driving right through it, and you can see that there's a kind of barracks, kind of center of town. It was probably something else at some point. Might have been some kind of warehouse or something when there was maybe a bit more, trade and whatnot. But it's been converted into barracks. You can see the sign out front that you've been told to look for.
Okay.
And you're approaching. I would like both of you, actually, as we begin here, to give me a physique and force roll. Let's see how exhausted you are after the trip up here.
Okay, and to confirm, for the first roll of the game, I take the attribute number and the skill number and add those together, and that's how many dice I roll?
That's right. And then you're looking for at least
Awesome.
1 6.
No successes. I'm a sleepy guy.
Yeah, also no successes. I'm cold.
Right. Both of you will begin then the game at exhausted. So you can click off the exhausted condition on your physical. This means that any physical test you do until you get some rest, you are at -1 die. To
Thanks. Thanks so much for that.
No problem.
I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. While we're riding through, do I denote an apothecary, a chemist, any medical doctors in the area that might be having their signage, any general practitioners?
You don't. However, knowledge of the area would tell you that it's too small to have like a major doctor. There's probably an herbalist or a wise woman, but she would be living a little bit outside of town.
Gabriel would hear Hilda sort of mutter to herself, "Oh, no physical doctor here. Perhaps I could have a little bit of a cash inflow, so maybe I can protect myself a little bit more with my medicines. Although there's no apothecary here, no chemist here to...
Doctor, is everything all right?
Everything is perfectly fine." And she pulls from an inside pocket an amber bottle with a label that's been sort of peeled and fiddled with very clearly, and she takes a quick sip of it. and continues on.
As she does that, and you notice that again, not for the first time in your long trip together here, Gabriel, you feel something move under your vest. Something stirring right here up against your chest, and you can hear a very, very faint purring noise, and something shifts and kind of clings to you here inside your chest, inside your vest.
Let's see. I think, yeah, Gabriel opens the vest and just kind of takes a peek in. I think, not that he necessarily keeps him hidden, but is aware that the people around will either immediately judge who he chooses to carry with him or not believe that he has someone with him based on past experiences. But inside is this small creature who is very weasel shaped, long and curvy, but in terms of texture, he's not so much furry as much as he is scaly and has the texture of a snake or any other kind of reptile. But then the face turns back to this rat-like form with little buck teeth and these big wide eyes. As Gabriel reaches in, it's like, Isaac, is everything all right, buddy? You doing okay? I know. It's very cold. We're going to warm you up soon, okay? Yes, buddy. It's all right. I think Gabriel kind of like tucks the jacket into itself again and like holds them shut, trying to keep Isaac safe and warm as they continue to trudge through the winter.
You know, Gabriel, it's very strange to talk to yourself. That's very strange and odd behavior to have. I would perhaps recommend a psychologist of some sort. It's not normal.
Well, doctor, perhaps we can get an appointment together.
What are you talking about? And she just continues writing on.
And I think that with this little moment here with this beast in your pocket that we just gave Laura and Kato some pretty bad flashbacks. Thank you, Varl, for the bits. Varl has donated some bits for y'all to get some troll tubes.
Thank you.
Isaac, in your shirt pocket, rolls over, curls up, and falls back asleep. You eventually arrive at this somewhat bigger, less dilapidated building. Like I said, some kind of barracks. You see a number of men hanging about, men and women, in fact, hanging about. Dark, suspicious eyes narrowed under the wide brims of black hats. Their equally black surcoats, slick with rain. As you approach them, one of them raises a hand, comes forward, steps up to you, and in Romanian says, Bones, you would understand this. Gabriel probably not. Says, are you lost?
No, I don't believe that we are lost. I believe that we are quite where we need to be.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, forgive me if I'm dubious of this. What is it that you're looking for?
At that point, she is going to begin translating to Gabriel, and she has no dog in this fight. She is here merely as an escort and a guide, and sort of backs the horse up a little bit and allows him to take the forefront. And she will explain to that guard that she is translating between the two men.
Excellent. May we be of assistance?
She translates.
Yeah, just assume that Bones is universally translating in
Perfect.
Finland. He looks at you. May we be of assistance?
I guess at this point, perhaps, Doctor, you find it best for shelter, for guidance, for... What do you think our next direction should be?
You are here to... These are the people who are currently hosting the person you're looking for.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Correct. I think I took note. This is the professor. We're looking for, or that's who we're here for.
Yeah.
Or we're on mission for.
You're here to basically to get Elizabeth.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Just checking my order operations. Yes, we've come looking for a friend, a comrade, and I was hoping to find direction for one Elizabeth, if that is a direction you could point us towards.
Oh. Are you the You the folk come all the way from Scandinavia.
Yes, correct. That's the long journey it's been.
I bet. Tell me, did you bring gold?
Oh,
I think Hilda holds her hand up at Gabriel at this point and will turn to the guard. Is it customary to perhaps pay guards in gold for such advances?
Well, I assume that somewhere in one of those bags of yours you have papers that will go to my superior that will perhaps, if you are lucky, allow your friend to join you. But in order for those papers to reach my superior, well, certain customs have to be met, and, well, gold speaks always louder than words.
Perhaps I offer you something better instead of taking the gold from this nice young man. Do you
Something
have any
better than gold.
afflictions? Yes,
Oh.
do you have any afflictions, ailments, something that needs to be cured?
Other than the two of you right now, no.
Does your mother?
Why are you talking about my mother? What do you know about my mother? Do you know my mother?
I would like to make a wild guess, and perhaps if there's a roll to help me make this wild guess, to do so.
What's the wild guess you want to make?
She's going to just perhaps that cough of hers is terrible.
Oh, let's see if she has a cough. Go ahead and roll your empathy and observation.
Love this for me. Love this for me so much. That's one success.
Did you meet her? Did you talk to her?
You have a striking resemblance to somebody that I've seen somewhat recently, and she had a terrible cough. I fear for her. I'm a medical doctor. And she grabs her bag and holds it in front of her.
He comes over. Open it.
She does, and it's filled with medical supplies and medicines and
He looks through it.
tinctures.
You're a doctor.
Yes, Dr. Broderick. Hilda Broderick.
Interesting. Oh, what is that? And he points to a bottle of whatever medical ointment you might have.
It is tincture for
Is it good for the skin of the feet? My skin of my feet, they crack and they hurt something terrible.
No, but do you need me to make a roll for this?
No.
Okay. But this, and she pulls out some salve that she has that's finely labeled and probably some snake oil thing that she bought off of a bender.
Is it also good for itchiness here? And he shows you his groin.
Oh.
You know what? Hilda does not bat an eye at this. She is a medical doctor. She's like into this. She goes, no, actually, but I have this wash that you can use for this. I would really need to examine it much closer. So.
All the while, Gabriel is watching this, just like this guy just whipping everything out just in the middle of the barracks. Like, okay, yeah, of course, doctor, yeah.
All right, so this one for feet and this one for below deck.
She snatches the bag away, and this service for entrance.
You drive a hard bargain. What about my mother's cough?
I will do that as well. If you perhaps forward your paperwork to whoever it needs to go to. I'm assuming your superior, but I have a hard time believing that you
Who
have a
has
superior.
papers? You have papers? He looks at you, Gabriel. You look like a man who has papers. Give me papers.
Of course, yeah. Always, as he sifts through the bag, you just hear the metals and other things just clanking against each other. He just pulls up this kind of half crumpled little packet of paper, kind of hands it over.
And perhaps for the service for your mother, that we are seeing that this is escalated up to the highest order with an approval pending almost assuredly, sir.
I don't understand what you say. And he turns around and he walks inside.
Is he going to keep my papers?
Probably. You'll probably never see them again. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I would have held tighter if I thought I could. Okay, well.
Don't worry about your papers. And she's going to get off the horse with her bag, her medical bag. Is there a hitching post nearby, I'm assuming?
Absolutely.
Okay, she'll hitch her horse. She does not tell Gabriel what she's doing. She's just going to assume that he's going to follow. She is a woman on a mission now at this point. There are ailments to cure and people to see, apparently. And she's just marching forward.
Yeah, Gabriel is following. It's just ever so slowly behind, making sure every step behind is taken care of. That if you tie to the hitching post, he's making sure that it's double knotted, making sure anything we need to carry or extra, that gold in case this whole plan didn't work out, is stuff inside the bag, and is following, just, and not quite panicked, but still just like, in case this choice doesn't work out, I'm prepared for whatever comes after. Maybe.
He said loading is good. Excellent. As you walk into the building, somewhere below in the cells, Elizabet, you have been here now for a number of weeks, and you have not been mistreated in any way, shape, or form. You have a private little room. There is a bed. There is a desk and chair to sit at and do some work. There is a small wood stove for heat. They bring you not necessarily wood all the time, but they'll bring you wood or some charcoal or something to burn. You've been treated all right. But you're getting really bored and really kind of tired and annoyed, and they've taken all your things, and you just don't have any of your things with you anymore. You, once in a while, they'll bring you a book to read, but it's just taken a very long time. As you are, what are you doing? What is happening? Can you tell us a little bit what we would see in this particular situation? In this little unfortunate cell?
I think, unfortunately, the books that they have brought to read are, well, it's been the same 2 books, and I have always been able to read quite fast, so it's been mind-numbing, I think is the phrase. So, as of right now, because I have read the second book 3 times at this point, I think I have resigned myself to sitting on the little bedroll, the little cot in the corner, and I'm just tossing a piece of paper up in the air, just a balled up piece of paper, over and juggling it back and forth. Because at the very least, I can keep my hand-eye coordination. I don't know. I am bored out of my skull. But sitting on the bed is a young woman with medium brown skin. Her hair has a little bit of a coil to it. A few streaks of white that seem to have cropped up around her face. Wearing traveler's clothes, but of a more masculine bend. She wears trousers and boots, a vest, a blouse. Her jacket is thrown over the back of the chair on her little writing desk. And as previously mentioned, just sitting here, trying not to die of boredom.
You hear the door open and footsteps come down the wooden stairs. And one of the men that has been keeping you here, or one of the blackcoats, approaches you, and he's holding a sheaf of paper and what appears to be some ointment. And he approaches you and says, Elizabet Jensen, correct?
As I've told you before, repeatedly, yes.
There is a man and woman here from Scandinavia come to get you. They brought papers and ointment for each. I just wanted to make sure that is this, and he shows you some of the papers, is this the people you wrote to that you and he shows you, and you can see the letters are from the lawyer Bertolt, and you can see that there are a bunch of not random, but there's a bunch of like official looking letters and forms that have been filled out, and just really sternly worded letters, et cetera, and you recognize the work of Bertolt.
Yes, this would be from Monsieur Bertolt, Esquire. I don't know if you had a look at the letter, sir, but I imagine you will probably want to do as he says.
Yes, I will bring to a notary. We'll look at them over and we'll decide what happens. But I wanted to give you a heads up in case you wanted to take some time to gather your things, and you look and you have no things.
I don't. Well, the things that I would have with me are things that you have since confiscated. Are not.
Well, before I pass these on to the notary and move things along, I wanted to ask you one more time. Are you quite certain that you don't have anything to do with the followers of the Red Sun? Because all these things we found on you when we arrested you, these books, these notes, these papers, they're very suspicious. And, well, we have our marching orders, and I know we will be releasing you soon. I wanted to make sure you understood that as long as you remain here, I will be watching you and keeping an eye on you. The Baron will be keeping an eye on you.
Yes, you have made that abundantly clear that I am under lock and key, at least for now. And I imagine that once I leave this place, I will have a shadow wherever I go. But as I've told you, and I will continue to tell you, those are tools of my trade.
You hear another voice as other footsteps come down the stairs. That's all right, Bogdan. I'll take care of it. And you see the young man, Mihai Ducic, the notary, who has been quite kind to you. Approaches. I'll take these, please. Thank you. Would you show the people who have come here upstairs and make sure that they are warm and given some coffee, perhaps, to drink? Yes, of course, sir. And he gives them things. What is that? It's for me, for each. And he puts it in his jacket. Okay, and he... Miss Jensen, I'm very sorry. Let me just look through these quickly. These do look in order. They do. Your Mr. Bertolt is very good at paperwork. These are fantastic. Oh, look at that penmanship. This is amazing. The quality of this paper.
Monsieur?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. Everything seems to be in order. I am satisfied of the of your identification. And that you are not part of this Cult of the Red Sun. We'll be releasing you momentarily. If you would like to... where are the keys? I'll be right back. And he runs upstairs and tuk. And upstairs, you're being brought next to the fire, Gabriel and Ilda. And they're bringing you some really, really strong coffee. He's like... It won't be too long. The men will be here, and you hear tong, and this young man comes into the room. He's like, just one moment, run on it, and you can hear like keys shuffling around, and he goes right back on tong. He comes back down to you as with, very sorry. And he unlocks the door, and he's like, Miss Jensen, you're free to go.
And my effects?
Yes, absolutely. Come upstairs with me. I'll get everything. And he goes back upstairs. You come up the stairs, Elizabeth, and you see standing around the fire trying to warm themselves, drinking coffee, two people, one of whom you recognize to a certain degree, and that is Gabriel, the other a young woman that you do not at all recognize. The two of you see Elizabeth come walking out from under. She looks a little bit worse for wear, a little bit, probably needs a little bit of some time alone with a comb and a bath, but otherwise looks unharmed.
Moderately annoyed, but otherwise unscathed.
I think you see Hilda. She has procured from somewhere, you're not entirely sure where, Gabriel, a cane that has a golden eagle head on the top of it. She's sort of leaning on it and very mechanically turns to face Elizabeth. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Elizabeth, hello. Good to see you again. You look as well as you can, I suppose.
Well, as far as imprisonment goes, at the very least, they kept me fed.
Well, I'd rather be on a full stomach than an empty one. could not relate at the moment. It's been a long journey, but hopefully a meal is around the corner.
Yes, I very much appreciate you making the journey. I don't know why Bertolt had to go through all the trouble, and she kind of glares at one of the guards. But
he's busy putting cream on his hands.
At the very least, I am glad you were able to sort it out.
Yes, of course. Happy we could get you, free. Yeah, that's it. To get you out and get you some, I hope to get you some sunshine, but it's not quite as warm and bright as I think leaving a prison cell would warrant.
No, not in these parts.
No.
Sorry to interrupt. I have your things here. We have, and he starts enumerating your things, this bag, these herbs, these things, these clothes, this, all these things, this little tea leaf bag, and a bunch of different things. And this is strange. I don't think this was in your things. When did this come in? And he's holding this black envelope. And he looks at the other guys, when did this come in? And they shrug. Huh. Well, very strange. It's addressed to you, Miss Elizabeth.
I'm assuming I've never seen this thing before.
Never. And then you see his eyes go wide. Oh. Oh my.
Oh?
Miss Elizabeth, this, and he hands you this black envelope. He said, this is from the Baron.
All right. I will accept the envelope. Just plain black envelope with my name on it.
Yeah, and when he says it's from the Baron, everyone kind of stops what they're doing. They all kind of stand up slowly and kind of just walking. Like all of a sudden, everyone's curious, and they all kind of crowd around and start whispering amongst each other. And he's like, "No. Let her open it. Let her open it."
Do you mind?
Oh, yes, get back to work. And then they're like, and then kind of turn around and they all kind of scatter again. And he turns around. I'm sorry, it's very rare that the Baron communicates with people outside the castle. It has not happened in several decades. It's quite an event.
All right. Bleak, would Elizabeth have any reason to believe the Baron would want to contact her?
I mean,
Has she
you've
made
been
contact
you've
with
been
him already?
poking around. No, not really. You've been poking around certain things. Like, you're not surprised that he would know that you're here.
Of course. I'll look at Gabriel and give one of those like tight apologetic smiles. Just and I'm so sorry. Looking to Hilda. I don't mean to be rude. I don't think we've been properly introduced.
She takes your hand, your free hand, like a man would, and shakes it very vigorously. Dr. Hilda Broderick, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Doctor, Elizabet Jensen, thank you for making the trip. I apologize if it was overly arduous.
The tremble is back in her hands as she retracts from the handshake and sort of grips her cane with a white knuckle grip there, and she just smiles and says, "It's fine, no problem. I get paid regardless, so it's just okay. Don't." And she sort of mutters to herself as she sort of wanders off in this babbling moment that's not necessarily directed at you, but not directed at you. It's very bizarre.
Gabriel looks over, is like, not to speak for her, but she seems to have found immediacy in finding a purpose in this small town that doesn't seem to have much healthcare options, and I think she feels secure. I believe she's fine with the journey.
Oh, no, Gabriel, just to be clear, that was a lie. I lied. So you didn't enter gold.
Did you? Okay, sorry. I believed you were giving full facts. So what did you give the gentleman?
Oh, I don't know. It was just something that I picked up randomly.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't had time to study its contents, and his mother, that was a guess.
That was interesting. I full-heartedly believed you. I assumed you just had actually seen some. Wow.
From somewhere in the
like
back
fire.
you hear, is this supposed to smell like Russian cheese?
Yes, that is normal.
Bleak, I would like to break the seal on the letter.
You break the seal on the letter. It's one of those letters that doesn't have a letter inside the envelope. It's the envelope itself that opens and the message is written inside of it. And when you open it, there's this sudden chill wind current that comes through the room and half the candles blow out. And the fire sort of like peters down a little bit and the room gets a little darker around you and everyone kind of stops and you crack it open and somewhere in the distance you hear crows cawing. Inside the envelope is written a simple line in a very, very elegant script. Red ink on the black velvet of the black vellum of the letter. Please come to the castle. Baron Voros.
Well, Mr. Silva, Doctor, once again, I appreciate you making the journey all this way. It seems that I have an invitation to attend to. I don't particularly want to force the two of you to remain, should you choose not to.
Would you like the company? Do you need the company?
Elizabeth kind of pauses. There's a moment where it looks like she's about to refuse, and then she remembers that she wandered into town and immediately got snatched up by witch hunters. You know what? I think perhaps that might be best.
Perfect. Say no more. I have nothing better to do, and I was afraid you were about to send us off anyway, so I'm down. I would love to go.
I think Hilda looks at Gabriel. Who is your boss? And are they going to pay me more?
You have all that gold that you didn't have to give to the guard.
I personally have no immediacy need of the gold that you happened to save for us, so...
Is it like on his hip or like in a bag near him?
It is a bag within a bag. So the bag of gold is just in that messy like rucksack that he just kind of has hanging over his shoulder. So it's not like immediately visible, but you could probably immediately could pull it out.
Hilda takes it and says,
Oh, all of it. Okay.
that's payment enough.
A portion. That's fair. Yeah.
I'm a medical doctor. My services are not cheap.
Hopefully I won't need any bodily fixing anytime soon then. Because I now cannot pay for it.
She has not told Gabriel that she primarily works as a medical examiner and doesn't like practice that often. Okay.
What do you do?
Well, as lovely as it's been here, said with just the sarcasm is so thick you could cut it with a dull butter knife.
You've been such a model guest. It's been my pleasure, truly. I do hope, Miss Elizabeth, that you find what you're looking for. And again, I apologize for all the trouble that we were forced to cause you, says Mihai as he bows to you.
I suppose I understand, considering what has been happening.
These are dark times. But you're going to the castle. That's exciting.
Exciting is a word for it. Bleak.
Yes.
I've been playing games with you for far too long.
Uh-oh.
I'm paranoid. In the time that I've been here,
Yes.
locked up in this goddamn barracks,
Mhm.
what is the vibe that I've gotten from Mihai?
Exactly what you saw today. He's just very desirous
Bumbling
to do
and
a
easily
good
distracted.
job. And yeah, he's just
Okay.
exactly
Just-
what you've seen so far.
What it is what it is on the tin. There's nothing weird, nothing.
As far as you can tell.
Oh. Okay, well then, hold on.
Hold up.
Damn.
You can if you want to do an empathy and observation.
I would like to do that. Thank you very much. That is a lot of dice to roll. That is 2 6s.
Which reminds
two
me,
successes, I guess.
something I did forget to mention is I have a house rule, and that's the devil's luck. If you roll 3 6s, not 4, not 2, not 5, but 3 6s, you get the devil's luck, which means that you get a roll tooth as a bonus. So, you honestly feel that he's just kind of a well-meaning person who works very hard and should probably be in a big city somewhere doing something other than being a notary here. But you also get the sense that there's something that's holding him here. Like there's, but you don't get any sense of any of it being a threat to you or dangerous to you.
Okay. In that case, within my effects, I would like to produce a card for the society, for Hellstrom. Mihai, I understand that I have occasionally been terse and, pardon my language, a bit of a bitch in my time here.
I would never say such thing. You were quite lovely.
Should you desire a change of scenery at any point, and I will hand him the card for the Uppsala Society.
This is beautiful. Did you make this yourself?
No. I just, the people that I work for, we could always use someone with your particular knack for paperwork.
Thank you. This is incredible. I really appreciate it. If there's anything, I don't have a card. But you can always find me here or at the Wiccantello where I usually take dinner. But if there's anything else I can do for you while you're here, it'll be my pleasure to do so.
I will keep that in mind. And you said the Wiccantello?
Yes, it's just on the other side of town. When you are about to leave town, you'll see a little coach inn there. That's where I usually take dinner day. Wonderful salted pork.
They have rooms?
They do. Of varying quality, depending on the time of year. But you're going to be guests at the castle. I'm sure that will be perfectly fine.
Very well. And I'll look to Gabriel and the good doctor. Well, it seems we have an invitation to attend.
How exciting.
Let's make haste.
And as you
Out we
head
go.
on outside and prepare to make your way up the mountain towards the castle, noticing that it is getting on in time and it is perhaps late afternoon by this point, we follow a narrow path that leads away from Dakov, one quickly swallowed by the trees. The forest presses close here, ancient trunks bent with age, their bark scarred and pale like old bone. The air is still heavy with the scent of damp earth, pine resin, and something sharper beneath it, dried herbs perhaps, or old smoke. Here, Martin and Teresia's cottage emerges slowly from the gloom as if the forest is reluctant to reveal it. It is small, low-roofed, built of darkened logs and stone, its walls furred with moss and creeping ivy. The chimney leans at an odd angle, exhaling a thin ribbon of smoke that smells of peat and bitter plants. Charms hang from the eaves, bundles of twine, feathers, animal bones, carved wooden symbols bleached by years of wind and snow. They sway gently, clicking together in soft, uneasy rhythms. The windows glow faintly with firelight, their glass clouded and imperfect, turning shapes inside into wavering silhouettes. A chopping block sits nearby, split and scarred beside stacks of firewood dusted with frost. Inside, the cottage is warm. When close, the air thick with the smell of smoke and the herbs and old wood. A single fire burns low in a stone hearth, casting long flickering shadows across the wall. Bundles of plants hang from the rafters, some familiar, others twisted and brittle, their names long forgotten. Shelves sag beneath clay jars, corked bottles, worn tools, each marked with careful, deliberate order. A rough wooden table sits at the center of the room, scarred by years of use and surrounded by 3 stools. 2 other rooms, separated by well-worn curtains, house narrow beds piled with furs and hand-stitched blankets. In one of these beds lies a wounded figure, bandages covering the left arm and chest. The figure is sweating in the grip of fever. Raulin, you are approaching an isolated house. The sound of men and women screaming and the echo of guttural, primal howls fill the air. As you approach, you see what appears to be a group of hunters wrestling with a gigantic gray wolf, trying to get the wolf in a cage, and then you realize it's not exactly a wolf. The hunters around him wear deep red cloaks, the color darkened by age and weather, heavy wool soaked with pine resin and smoke. Draped over their shoulders are raw wolf pelts, the fur matted and stiff, the heads left intact so the dead animal's jaws hang open against their chests. Their faces are hidden behind masks carved from wolf skulls, yellowed and cracked with time. The eye sockets are uneven, one always larger than the other, as if deliberately damaged. Behind each mask, the truth is the same. Every cultist is missing one eye. A livid scar crosses the empty socket, some puckered and healed, others jagged, as if the wound was taken rather than given. It's a mark of devotion, and none of them tries to hide it. They carry long rifles of dark wood and iron, the kind used by hunters and border soldiers, but treated with unsettling reverence. Powder horns etched with runes and claw marks. And at their belts hang hatchets, short-handled, brutally practical, the blades nicked and stained. These are not ceremonial tools. They are meant to bite. You rush forward, ready to pounce, when several of them turn their rifles toward you and shoot, the crack deafening and heralding complete darkness. You sit up in bed, covered in sweat, frozen through and through, yet burning with fever. Shivering, not quite sure where you are, pain flaring up in your arm and chest, difficulty breathing. As a young woman rushes into the room, come and help you, what would she see, Raulin?
She would see a man in his early 30s with black hair and a shock of white through it, and sort of olive-toned skin, and a large scar going down the left side of his face across his eye down towards his cheek, and a ring on a chain round his neck. He clutches at the covers and sits upright.
I'm here, says the young woman, Terizia. She comes over to you and... Rest, lay down. You mustn't overexert yourself. Lay down, Axel. You're safe here.
I had a terrible dream.
The fever is not breaking, and it seems to be getting worse, she says as she touches you, and then she bends down and takes that piece of cloth that's in cool water next to you and starts to sponge your face and your forehead. You're burning up. The wounds won't close, and she starts removing the bandages a little bit. She's like, I've tried everything. They just don't seem to want to close. We need to remove the bullets.
Axel takes a handkerchief from the table next to the bed and coughs into it and pulls it back, and there's just this, what looks like mercury, this sort of liquid silver that comes out of his mouth, and he looks up and goes, I see. Yes. Can you do it?
The one in the arms, maybe, but I would be too afraid to cut into you for the one in the chest. Martin! And a few moments later, the curtain pulls aside and you see her brother, Martin, the one who found you and brought you here, leans into the room. How is he doing, sister? It's not good. It's really not good. The fever won't break. It's getting worse. He's spitting up some of the detritus from the bullets. I don't know how that's happening, but I'm afraid we'll need something I don't have here to cure him. What are you talking about? He puts a hand on your forehead again, on the side of your face, and she's very gentle and very sweet with you. Axel, when my brother found you, he said that you looked a little different, that you weren't quite the man you are now. Is this true?
Whatever do you mean, Teresia?
She looks at her brother, and he looks at you, and then turns away and closes the curtain. She says, my brother believes that you are a shapeshifter.
Stuff and nonsense. It was dark when he found me. The trees can play tricks, cast shadows. It's an odd thing what the brain recalls. Why, I've memories from when I was 4 or 5 years old. But I can't say they are entirely accurate. My dear Martin, I think you just thought you saw something else. I'm appreciative of your aid.
From behind the curtain, you hear, I know what I saw. She says, Axel, you have to understand that. In the mountains here, we are more used to old folks' tales being true. But I must know, what my brother saw is true. You should be dead. That you won't die, but you're not getting better either. If you are indeed special, I know of only one thing that can heal you. If it doesn't work, I'm afraid that sooner or later these wounds will take you. We need something special, a plant called moon vein. The strange herb that doesn't grow anywhere anymore except one place might have some. But I need you to be honest with me, Axel, and tell me there is something to what my brother says.
Storyteller, the brother is not in the room currently. He's on the other side of the curtain. He can't see. I take Teresia's hand in my own and I say, I have no idea what you're talking about. Shape-shifting. These odd things, these dizzy times. I know nothing of shape-shifting, and I squeeze her hand.
She touches your forehead again. and says, "We will take care of you." And she looks over her shoulder and she says, "Martin, we will have to take him up to the castle. The Baron will have Moonvein." The curtain opens and Martin pokes his head in again. "Are you crazy? We can't go up there. If we don't, Axel will surely die. We can't just go knocking at the castle door, Terizia. You know that. You know the Baron has an affinity for the stranger things that run around these mountains. He will help. This is absolutely crazy. Not only will he not help, but he will be enraged, and he will take it out on us, and we'll be no better off than he is. If we don't do anything, Axel will die. I suppose he can't walk. I'll go hitch the wagon." He turns around and closes the curtain again, and he turns back to you. "Where you come from, Axel, they have stories about strange creatures? Creatures that shapeshift or live only at night or serve the Fey Queen in her realm. Things of that nature?"
My dear Terizia, every culture has those stories. Since time immemorial, every culture has had stuff of the Fey, the supernatural, ghosts, vampires, werewolves. Of course I know.
Well, here's the thing, Axel. In the mountains of Carpathia, those are not stories. They are truths.
I see. And what sort of creepy crawlies haunt the mountains here?
She doesn't say anything, but her look tells you that whatever it is that's up there is something quite tenebrous.
Well, into the lion's mouth, I suppose.
The land here is very old, and there are people, beings who are as old as it is. And they feel this land in their bones, and they feel its pain when it screams and its joy when it laughs, and there are creatures who seek only to gorge themselves, but there are others who care for this land. The Baron has shown to be one such, and I truly believe he will help you. He is, well, kinder than one might expect.
He sounds a scream, according to your brother.
Martin is not only very protective of me, of course, he is very suspicious of everything and everyone. Since our mother died, he's been very wary of the things that move in the shadows. Perhaps I can tell you her story someday.
I would like that very much. But first, and he coughs again into the handkerchief, and it kind of sprays this silver liquid out. I suppose we'd best see this Baron, and hope he is in a benevolent mood.
Meanwhile, up on the mountain, The road to the castle climbs steeply, carving a thin, winding scar into the mountainside. Stone markers line the way, half buried and worn smooth by time, their carvings long eroded into meaningless grooves. As you ascend, the mist thickens, coiling around your legs and muffling sound, even your own footsteps. The air grows colder with every step, sharp enough to sting the lungs. At last, the castle emerges from the fog. Castle Voros rises directly from the rock, its walls fused to the mountain as though grown rather than built. Black stone towers loom overhead, their spires vanishing into the mist above. Narrow windows stare down like unblinking eyes. A deep chasm yawns before the gate, crossed only by a heavy drawbridge of iron-bound wood, slick with moisture and sagging under its own age. Chains disappear upward into the fog, groaning softly as the bridge sways in the wind, though no hand, of course, seems to move it. Passing beneath the gate, the sound changes immediately. Your steps echo too loudly, too sharply, cracking in the frosty air. The courtyard beyond is wide and desolate, its cobbles uneven and cracked, slicked with mist. The fog clings low to the ground, curling around abandoned wagons, broken crates, rusted iron fixtures like grasping fingers. A dry fountain squats at the center of the yard, its carved figures eroded into warped, agonized shapes. No banners fly, no torches burn. Yet this space is not empty. It feels occupied, watched as though the courtyard itself remembers every soul that has ever crossed it. High above, the castle walls close in, blotting out the sky. The mist swallows all sense of distance or escape, and dark, ominous clouds gather above, heralding an incoming storm. Ravens and crows fly low, populating the branches of dead trees, silent as they watch you ride on. As you approach the castle, how do the three of you... What's going through your minds? What are you feeling?
I feel after initially getting into town and hitting this level of exhaustion and just the long day, the cold night, everything is kind of piling on, and there's just more weight on Gabriel's shoulders, and it's observant and not so much in the way of awareness, but I think exhaustion and just trying to take in like what is around me before we get to a place of calm, a place of rest, as he's taking in like the detail of everything, every wall, every piece of decoration, anything is all just far more I think he is prepared to take in at this point in the evening. It's just very very tired.
I think Hilda has been sipping on her little amber bottle on this trek upwards every so often. To speak plainly, I think she does not care at this point. I think she is on her own little adventure. And while exhausted, yes, slowly dosing herself with whatever it is that she is in fact dosing herself with, has sort of staved away moments of misery. Although the closer they've gotten, the more curious she has become and is sort of every so often taking note of little details. So a strange mix of euphoric and very curious.
And I think Elizabet is... Well, this is more of a lead than she's had in a while, mostly because she was sitting in a barracks for several weeks, so she hasn't really been able to do her job. It's been some time since she has worked with another group. She hasn't been back to Uppsala for more than, what do you think, storyteller, a couple of days at a time? Since those 2 years have passed?
Yeah, I think you would have avoided it as much as you could.
Mm-hmm. So I guess you could call her freelance at this point. She has her own mission. She has her own goals that have yet to be met. And there's a bit of an agitation because she's been chasing so many shadows and coming up against so many dead ends. And I don't know how she will fare if this turns out to be another closed door.
Speaking of closed door, you stand in front of massive double doors. They have to be 15, 20 feet tall, made of massive wood. Closed off in front of you at the top of a number of stone steps. Everything is quiet.
Is
Doors
there a knocker
don't
on these
move.
doors?
What do you do?
Is there a knocker on these doors?
There is.
Well, it's not going to be quiet for long.
You approach the knocker, and as you reach for it, you hear a sound like hinges. And off to the side, around the corner of a little tower, a little door opens, kind of like a servant's door, perhaps, or something like that. It opens just as you're about to put your hand on the knocker, and from that door emerge two strange creatures. One squat, almost frog-like, with a peasant's hat on, and carrying several scroll cases on its back. The other is regally dressed in fineries, which only serve to make his hooves, tails, horns, and fawn-like face seem all the more strange. As the fawn creature approaches you and taps its staff 3 times on the cobblestone and then bows, the other squatter creature punctuates every move with a clash of tiny cymbals held in his hands. Then the fawn-like creature stands up. "Dear travelers from the mist, haggard and despondent you may be, yet here at Castle Voros you will find safe harbor and succor, food for your bellies, and warmth for your tootsies. Come, then, announce yourselves in stentorious voices. Let the very air and the dark foreboding walls of this ancient keep tremble at the mention of your deeds. Revel in the very pleasure of the words. Let your vanity erupt and echo from these dear old walls. Let the wind carry your glory to the far corner of the Carpathians." Wait, you're not Duke Cadmere and the Lady Ursulina? Well, I never.
No,
Are you lost?
I certainly hope not. And I will pull out the black envelope.
Yeah. I'll take that. Thank you very much. And he clops forwards and grabs it, and he's got his staff in one hand and the thing in the other, and gunpowder, and the squat little one comes over. Yes, sir. And he comes over and he grabs the staff and he holds it. He opens the letter. He's like, "Ah, yes. Incredible. Another invite I was not made aware of, Gunpowder. This is getting out of control. Well, it seems you've been invited, and, well, we will give you all hospitality. Would you, what would your names be, then, if you are not Duke Cadmere and Lady Ursulina?"
There's a quiet, like, internal sigh of resignation because, my God, all Elizabeth wants is a bath, something to eat, and then maybe we can get to the bottom of the nonsense. But no, there is more nonsense to dig through before the main nonsense. So she sighs and she looks at her compatriots, and it's again that kind of tight smile of apology. Jensen. You may call me Lisa Jensen.
I am certain that is not your true name, but it will do for now. And he gives you kind of knowing smile. And who might you be, sir? And he looks to you, Gabriel.
Yes, I think in complete contrast of the journey up, where he was so exhausted, he sees these two non-human creatures, and it's not so much enthusiasm, but there's just this like spark of excitement of like, oh, hooray, something exciting is happening. So there's this joyous kind of grin across his face, like, oh yes, hello, Gabriel Silva is yes, this is my name, and then trying to like stand up straight a little bit more, just a little more professionalism after that almost like kid-like wonder kicks in.
Excellent. And what about you? Oof, that laudanum. Oh dear. We're going to have to hose you down before we can introduce you to the Baron. What might your name be, dear?
Hilda is actively looking at her bottle of laudanum and then back at these two creatures and then back at the laudanum and then back at these two creatures. She has never in her life seen anything of the sort, and says very quietly to herself, I really should lay off of this sometime soon, but not today. And then tucks it back into her coat pocket and just very firmly says, Dr. Broderick. Who are
Doctor
you?
of what? Literature?
Medicine?
History? Art?
I'm a medical doctor.
Oh. Well. Good enough, I guess. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the Grey Earl. This is my majordomo, Gunpowder. Say hello, Gunpowder. He doesn't speak much, which is good. If you ever hear his voice. Well, shall we then? It's quite the evening for unexpected guests. We have somebody else here who arrived early. 3 people, in fact. 3, and now 3 again. I'm wondering if this is a pattern. Do you think it's a pattern, Gunpowder? Oh, very well. Shut up. Now, come on. Let's go. Follow us. The big doors don't work anymore. We'll have to use the small ones. Come along. Click, clap, click, clap, click, clap.
How's the doctor doing?
She's as good as somebody who's been drinking laudanum for however many hours can be. She's got a high tolerance, but she's like really like I'm really considering her life choices right now.
You know what? That's fair. Doctor, are you quite well?
Yes, of course I'm well.
I just...
Her pupils are like blown out.
Mr. Silva?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, hi.
I don't suppose you warned the doctor about... Well, sort of, as they're walking, she just sort of gestures forward to the weird little critters.
If I'm being completely honest, no. I guess I kind of just assumed they were coming in prepared for that. And now I can tell that that is information that I did leave out, and I should have been more forthcoming about it. However, isn't this exciting?
Exciting is a word for it.
It's so unique.
Unique
just
is a word for it.
you confirm, like, I'd like the verbal confirmation. You do see a walking deer and a frog-like creature in front of us, correct?
Have you been drinking my laudanum?
Not at all. Not at all.
I'll know if you did.
I can assure you, Doctor, you are not in fact hallucinating. You are seeing a man with hooves and a small frog-like... Actually, storyteller, what would I would know what they are precisely, as insofar as, what do you call it, species?
You would. They are quite literally a fawn and a kobold.
The gentleman with the hooves is what you might call a fawn, and the smaller one is what you could call a kobold.
As Elizabeth is like giving all the information, everything, and Gabriel's like, God, he pulls out this small little notebook and just starts jotting down real chicken scratch notes. Like, got it. Okay, fawn, kobold, only speaks in symbols? Question mark. If that's the case.
Actually, do kobolds tend to not speak, or is this just one just kind of weird?
This one's just weird.
As well, Mr. Sitley, in point of fact, I think this one just prefers to make noise.
He's German.
Okay, normally-
no one else speaks German here.
They could usually speak for
Got
themselves.
it. Normally more well spoken. Okay, this guy, unique circumstance. Okay, thank you so much. Oh,
If you look back at Hilda, she has a very large book that has appeared from her bag, and she's sort of just flipping through it while looking at both of you very incredulously, and very quietly says, "In group hallucinations, man with strange protrusions from his head and hooves for feet must be some sort of strange, anomalous birth defect,
The
perhaps the
Grey's Anatomy
genital."
she's reading from. Just a second.
Don't worry about it. That was very strange. And she makes like a little note in the book and sort of underlines some things and says, "I would like to perform a full medical examination on both of those men."
I mean, I imagine if you ask politely, they may agree, but the Vaesen can occasionally be a bit touchy.
Madam, might I perhaps inform you of something? But unfortunately, there is not a lot of politeness within medicine, so I will do what I will always do and have them agree on my terms.
Suit yourself. Don't say I didn't warn you.
may I follow along? I'd love to, whatever else you learn from this experimentation, this study, I'd love to just peer over your shoulder a little bit.
I usually work alone.
I don't have to touch anything. I just would like to
No,
watch.
you would. I would
Spectate?
cut your hands off if you touched anything. Let's be
Okay,
very
well-
honest with it all. I'm the medical doctor here, not you, Mr. Silva.
Yep, did not claim to be at all. I
As long as
figured
we're
now
clear
would-
about that.
Yes, please.
Very
Sorry, Elizabeth.
Do
I
you
apologize.
follow them in eventually, or are you standing outside in the courtyard?
No,
Oh,
we're walking and talking.
We've been walking and talking, and as this banter is happening, there's a cough that may or may not be covering a laugh.
Are you? She sticks the back of her hand on your forehead. Are you ill? Her hands are very cold.
Conversely, Elizabeth is very warm, but not feverish. She just seems to run hot.
No fever. Perhaps some tea will do you some good if you've been in the dungeon area.
And to be fair, the only tea that they afforded me tasted like it had been sitting in a crate for about a year and a half, so...
Curious. I would like to run some further testing.
As you say.
As you
Well,
are good.
no, she's just gonna, I was gonna say, regardless, and she just turns and she has her cane, and you'll notice on their walking, she has a limp that seems to switch sides depending on which hand the cane is in.
I think Gabriel started taking it like, potential Hilda Vaesen question mark?
You realize that the Grey Earl has been talking all this time. As you move inside the castle, you realize he's narrating you entering the castle. The great doors of Castle Voros close behind you with a sound like a tomb being sealed. The main foyer opens into a vast cathedral-like space, its ceiling lost in darkness far above. Cold stone pillars rise on either side, carved with figures so worn they appear half melted, their faces frozen in expression of prayer or terror. Oh, stow them or eat them.
My lord, sir, Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Grey, sir.
Yes.
I don't mean to be rude, but it has been quite a journey for my companions, and I myself am... Well, she kind of looks down. Like, as previously stated, she has not been ill-treated, but she's been sitting in a damp jail cell for like 3 weeks, and she looks it.
Like, I understand. I do. A faded crimson runner stretches across the floor, threadbare and stained, leading deeper into the castle. The air is heavy and still, and he continues on like this, leading you deeper and deeper into the castle through all ways that stretch and twist in unsettling ways, and eventually you arrive at what would be the main dining room. It is immense and somber. There's a long table that dominates the chamber. It's polished to a dull sheen. There's silverware darkened by age, and crystal goblets that are already set out in a number of places. There are high-backed chairs, rigid attention, pushed right into place. There's a massive chandelier that hangs heavy and unlit, the crystals chiming faintly, though no breeze seemed to still the air. The walls are lined with tall, narrow windows veiled by thick curtains, allowing no hint of the world outside, and the only illumination comes from the fireplace and dozens of candles littered around the room. As you enter this, you notice a figure sitting in a chair by the fireside, wrapped in blankets and asleep. You hear faint snoring, and as you come closer, you realize, Elizabeth, that it's Raulin, fast asleep, in a chair in front of the fire, wrapped up in blankets, bandages on his chest and arm, looking a little bit the worse for wear. But oozing happy.
Axel, what have you gotten yourself into? Elizabeth moves over with some expediency, crouches, and just takes Axel's hand in both of hers.
Hello, you.
Hello, you. What have you done to yourself?
Are you real?
Elizabeth reaches up and tweaks his nose.
Certainly are. Hello, dear friend.
Hello, dear. What are you doing here?
Well, I got myself into a bit of a scrape, I'll admit. I was nursed back to health by some lovely villagers, really, but they said I must come to the castle for some special treatments that they could only find here. And lo and behold, my dear friend Elizabet Jensen sitting right in front of me. What a day.
You look like you've been tossed off the back of a moving carriage.
Well, I did get shot several times, and I pull up my shirt and show these gray, seeping wounds.
Raulin, I would like you to meet my compatriots. This is Mr. Silva.
Hello, Mr.
Yes.
Silva.
Hi. Forgive me. You're not quite familiar with me, but I'm ever so slightly familiar with your work and some of your exploits and expeditions, and I may have written you a letter once or twice or 12 to 15 times in the past, and I did not receive a response. But that is okay. I expect you to be out. But I seem quite
Gabriel Silva?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, my stars. I'm terribly sorry for not writing you in return. It was very rude of me, but you see, I did not get your letter until a short while ago. I had been somewhat...
Okay, of course. I figured you would, busy, with potentially dying. You look, forgive me, awful.
Yes, I apologize for my comportment and demeanor. It's been, a long road. I'm fine, though, and I'm very, very delighted to meet your acquaintance.
Perfect. I'd love to pick your brain about all things in the future. However, I see right now may not be the best time, so I will allow you to...
Give me a day, maybe two. Should be right as rain, and then you can ask whatever you'd like, dear boy.
I look forward to it. I'll take notes and ask everything on my mind. Thank you.
Please do.
So exciting, extraordinary.
This is Dr. Hilda Broderick.
Hilda. I don't believe I have had the pleasure. Can I ask where you might be from?
Prague.
Prague. Ah, beautiful city. That clock tower is something magnificent, isn't it?
It is. It is a city.
Ah, I see. One does not necessarily always love where one hails from.
Sure. And she is fast approaching towards you at an alarming rate with that cane in her hand and her medical bag in the other. I see that you might be suffering from some injuries.
Oh, yes. Oh, gods, yes. What sort of doctor are you? Actually, never mind. I don't even care at this point. And I pull up my shirt and show the wounds, and they are kind of like gray and blackened, and you can see that there are like silver flecks all the way around it. And Elizabeth would probably clock that Axel has been coughing profusely into a cloth, and the cloth is starting to stain this almost sooty gray color.
And Elizabeth will take the stained, filthy handkerchief and replace it with a clean one.
You're too nice to me, you know that? Really ought not to be so nice to me.
I mean, who else is going to put up with you?
Well, very good point.
Hilda is very too close to your wounds. I'm a medical doctor, and she's sort of poking and prodding with a gentle finger and sort of touching around the wounds carefully. Does this hurt?
Yes, it all hurts.
All of it hurts. All tender. Very, very strange. If I was not mistaken, this almost looks like your flesh is necrotizing.
Perhaps it is. I have had a very strange encounter in the woods. I was, as you can see, shot at, but I am anticipating that the ammunition they used was perhaps, enhanced or changed or
Enhanced?
something of the sort.
Oh,
Yes.
strange. In what way do you find that it was enhanced?
Well, I certainly am no blacksmith nor armorer, but I imagine that perhaps there was something in the powder or the substance of the bullets itself it's caused some sort of, well, as you say, maybe necrotizing flesh here, which means one probably should act quite urgently. The bullets are still in me. Excuse me, please.
They did not remove the bullets. Who is they?
Oh, the lovely young woman and her brother, with whom I've been staying for a little while now. They unfortunately do not have the skill. As you can see, Teresia has patched up my arm, but the internal damage seems to be getting worse.
As you say this, you hear footsteps, and Teresa, a young woman, approaches, and she sees the lot of you. And she's like, "Oh, more guests."
Friends, Teresia, friends.
Good news. The Baron did, in fact, have moonbane. I found it. I will be able to make a poultice and a tea that you can use, and it should help. But I'm sorry. My name is Teresia. Pleasure to meet you all, I'm sure. But we need to find a way to remove these bullets. As I said, I don't think that I am skilled enough to do that. But perhaps we can send for a surgeon.
Well, it is in good fortune that I am here. I did, in fact, spend 8 years in medical school and then 4 years in residency, and then that's an attending physician, but don't matter where. But I'm quite skilled with a knife.
Well, there is a well-stocked infirmary here. Perhaps we might take Axel there, and you could see to his wounds while I would prepare this tea and this poultice.
Well, I could do that, yes.
As you do all this, I'm going to ask Gabriel, I want you to give me a logic and investigation roll, and then let me know what you got. But as you're all doing this, you hear more footsteps, and you turn around to see a woman walk into the room. She is tall, very, 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 very thin. She has this very kind of super serious, almost mean face, and she's walking around, and she's got like this lantern that she's holding up, and she's got a bunch of keys on chains around her waist. And she approaches, and Teresa says, This is Runika. She's the housekeeper. I've arranged for rooms for everyone. The Baron is indisposed currently, but he would very much enjoy having you all for dinner. Until such time, if you will, I will indicate to you where your rooms are, and the Baron has indicated that you should have free reign of the castle. Except, of course, for the top floor of the tower. But everywhere else you may go. Till such time as dinner is ready.
Something.
Sorry.
Sorry. Madam Runica, before we are set about the rooms, I hear tell that we have an infirmary available to us.
Yes, there is, and she tells you there is a library, we have an infirmary, we have a drawing room that might interest you, there is a corridor of mirrors that is also very peculiar, a chapel if you are in need of gods, and of course your rooms which have been prepared for you.
Would you be willing to show us to the infirmary first and foremost?
I can certainly do that, yes.
And without waiting, she's trying to get Axel to his feet.
Hilda would help with that to get him up.
Easy does it. Oops, Daisy.
Gabriel, what did you get on your investigation roll?
I got 2 successes.
As all this is going on, you notice the one thing that's kind of strange and a little bit out of place in here. On a mantelpiece nearby, there's nothing, there's no banners, no art, there's nothing in this room except the candles, the table, the sets, you know. But on a mantelpiece nearby, you see a beautifully carved wooden frame with a picture in it. Picture of a woman, and you feel quite drawn to it. This woman is clearly a woman of the area. She is dressed in a fashion that you would say is probably some decades out of place. That image of her, that drawing of her, seems a little bit old and faded. As you look at it, and as you are drawn to it, and as you approach it, you are struck by something. Her eyes are eerily similar to Dr. Hilda's eyes.
Is that a color, an appearance?
Yeah, definitely in shape.
An emotion.
Like if they were standing side by side and wearing a mask over their lower face, you would have a lot of difficulty telling them apart. And the hair also is very similar, dark hair.
Okay. And at this point, who else is still? I know people are heading towards the infirmary. Who else is still in the room?
Yeah, everyone is kind of moving, trying to help Raulin get out of here. You can see the fawn and the kobold are standing near the door, near the door that you came in from. It seems to be where they hang out.
Yeah.
And everyone is kind of shuffling and moving away to go with Raulin at this point.
Cool. Yeah, I think Gabriel would call over for the two, the fawn and the kobold. Excuse me.
Shh. Clip, clap, clip, clap, clip, clap. Yes, sir.
Gentleman, I believe, proper.
I would like to believe that I am. My friend here, however, is a little bit more base, but still a good fellow, and I would entreat you to treat him very civilly.
Of course, without question. I was drawn.
Your thing, your friend Isaac stirs in your pocket and starts to kind of like start to move around.
Oh, of course. I apologize, friend. I would open the coat enough that he could probably crawl and just start sitting on my shoulder as, this little reptilian weasel guy is kind of patting at his nose, and I think now much warmer than he would have been most today.
Or Hoka?
Yes. This is my friend Isaac. He's kind of my
seen
pocket
one like
companion.
him in some time. Might I hold him?
If he would allow you to, you may certainly try.
And
Do Elizabeth and I see this? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I think you would see that they're all kind of by the mantelpiece, the bunch of them, and they seem to be looking at something. They're holding something, and they're kind of exchanging.
Okay.
I think you might not see exactly what's going on because they're all kind of crowded around there, but they're obviously like he's showing them something, and they're kind of interested by
Got
it. The
I
short
will
one,
say-
Gunpowder, is kind of jumping up and down trying to see.
Elizabeth is very much focused on making sure that you don't wobble into a wall, so I do not think she's paying attention. Because her friend is hurt.
He extends a finger, and Isaac immediately jumps up and crawls up on it and disappears inside his sleeve. They're tickly little bastards, aren't they? And
He is explorative, yes.
he reaches inside his shirt and he pulls them out and he holds them very delicately. Aren't you a fine fellow? It's been quite some time since we've seen your kind around here. But no biting. No biting. Good boy.
This perfect. Yes, you've made fast friends. He does not do that frequently. Outside of myself, I don't know that I've ever seen him grow so attached to someone enough to let them hold him.
He hands him
I
back
could
to
tell.
you. He's very special. Take good care of them. There are not many of them
Of
left.
course. Well, he's my best friend, I believe, at this point. So I will do everything I can. However, yes, friendship aside, I took note of this person, this woman here. Her eyes, her features compelling. Who is this?
Nadezhda.
Nadezhda. Okay. Is she a woman of the house? A person who am I looking at?
The kobold is like looking over his shoulder and kind of like looking around, and it's all right, dear boy. Don't worry. The Baron is quite occupied right now. And the fawn leans into you. You would do well not to mention Nadezhda to the Baron. It is still a very sore point. Many moons ago, she was, well, to hear the Baron tell it, she was the Baron's whole heart. She unfortunately passed away. There is, you see, he looks around. Curse, some sort. The Baron, he has been cursed to not be able to love or be loved, ever. Those who, unfortunately, fall in love with him tend to suffer gruesome ends.
I see. Well, I cannot say necessarily to the same capacity as far as curses go, but I can understand the emptiness of the heart, and I relate to that. That is very unfortunate. I hope the best for the Baron. And yes, I will do best not to mention this in mentioned company.
He reaches out and puts a very gentle hand on her shoulder and goes, I can tell that you also have suffered deep in your heart terrible loss. I think perhaps you might be moved to find this a point of commonality with the Baron. Do not be fooled. There is nothing in common between you and all your friends and the Baron. Remember that. It'll stand you in good stead. He's not a cruel man, but he's also not a man.
I care to understand more. It would appear you're dehumanizing. Is that quite literary? Like, not, or...
The Baron will be the best judge of how much more should be revealed. I will let that up to him. I will simply tell you to remember that you are no longer in your world here. You are in the world of the Baron, and the things you think should be may not be, or may be different. The rules here are, well, the Baron's rules. Remain civil, remain respectful, remain nice. And the Baron will offer you the same. He is a gracious host.
I understand. Yes, I do not wish to step on any toes or break any rules that are set forth by the house. I will be on my best behavior, along with Isaac as well, and we will be sure to keep our noses appropriately where they may lie.
I am certain you will. Your friends appear to have all decamped to the infirmary. Would you like me to take you there? Would you like me to take you somewhere else? There are quite a few sights to see. I can also take you to your room if you would like.
I believe Miss Hilda has everything under control, and I believe Elizabeth also as well. You mentioned there was a library.
Yes, there is a wonderful library. In fact, I can take you there forthwith if you would like.
Yes, I would love that, please.
Very well. We call it the library that remembers. Come along.
I'm right behind you.
Meanwhile, the rest of you, led by Runica, wind your way through way more hallways than you thought you would ever see in this castle. Not a very big castle, yet it's almost as if you're inside a maze or something. Unerringly, Runica walks right through, and Terizia follows you. And you eventually arrive at the infirmary. It's a pristine infirmary with antique medical tools, fresh linens, no smell of decay whatsoever. And you can see just outside the door a small greenhouse with plenty of herbs growing and hanging down. There are beds that are neatly made. And as you walk in, Runica, who has unlocked the door with one of her keys, takes the key and presses it into your hand, Elizabeth, and said, "This key will get you through most doors. If it doesn't open the door, do not attempt to go in. I will expect the key back when you leave, if you leave."
Understood.
If you need anything, Mr. Vincent will take care of you.
Much appreciated.
I'm sure. Don't be late for dinner. And she turns around and walks out.
Rather imposing presence, isn't she?
Something like that. Doctor, is there any way I can be of assistance to you?
When you turn to look at Hilda, she is like rummaging through the cupboards furiously. A mad woman, if you will. If you could get our good friend here up on a table there, and if I could just find it. Gleek, do I have free reign on medical things that I'm looking for?
Absolutely.
I love that answer. She opens a drawer and sort of gets a aha, and you'll see her retrieve smelling salts, which she uses on herself to sober her up. She gives a good sniff, both nostrils, and she goes, "God, dude, smelling salts, anyone?"
Well, actually, Elizabeth looks to Raulin.
No.
I would like some.
No, darling, you unfortunately are getting diethyl ether, so you just lay down. Yeah, you don't want the smelling salts for this.
Elizabeth, would you just pop me up there?
Yes.
Terizia says,
Easy.
Sorry, Terizia says, "I'll go and make the poultice and the tea. Find a bed for Raulin."
Elizabeth will help.
You approach
get
the
him
beds.
down.
You notice that there are 4 of them. And you notice that each bed is occupied by an impression as though someone invisible is lying there. 3 of them are. There's one bed at the far end that doesn't have that, but 3 of them have these impressions and these forms in them.
Oh, hey, storyteller. Elizabeth has a glamour of her own that she typically keeps in place. Would it be possible for her to use her knowledge to see if perhaps it is more than just a dent in the mattress, or if there is something otherworldly squatting in the infirmary.
Sorry, I was muted. Absolutely. What are you thinking of doing?
You know what? We're gonna pick up that little Raulin, you've seen this before. You know what this little bag is. Dr. Broderick, you see Elizabet pull out a small leather satchel. Just simple brown leather, nothing fancy about it. It's not carved with anything. There's nothing printed on the leather itself. And she pulls out a very fine gray dust. Axel, just one moment, just moderately curious. And she walks up to one of the beds and just gently, and I would like to use the troll dust to see what I could see.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make me a magic roll. That'll be, magic is 4, I believe, +2 for the 1, +2 for the dust. So you're looking at 8 dice.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Do I have enough dice? I have enough dice. Look at that. Three successes.
3 successes. Devil's luck. 666. Excellent. That will be 1 extra roll 2 for Laura. And as you blow the dust, it falls down on the beds, and you can see it highlighting the shape of people sleeping in them, but then it goes through them and alights on the beds. And as it does, you get this sense that these are not ghosts, but kind of memories of people that have laid there before, imprinted in this place.
Any more detail than just an outline?
They look like, I'm assuming you're wanting to know if they're humanoid or human-like, and they are. They don't appear to be monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like seeing a mannequin with no features. It's like just this kind of generic.
Got it.
Humanoid shape.
Elizabeth kind of hums to herself, just, and will move Raulin to the bed that is actually unoccupied. Stop whining.
Doctor, as you are perusing through the various bits and pieces and cupboards and whatnot of the place, you see that there is a glass cabinet that contains a number of jars that appear to be labeled with names. And you quickly scan it over, see nothing there of interest, and are about to move on when you notice a name that catches your attention on one of the jars. You can see that most of these jars seem to contain organs. One of them, the name is Abraham Garnet.
What organ is it?
That bottle is empty.
Curious. When I look at the various jars, sort of doing a peruse, do I notice that these are vital organs or just like various, like an appendix or a gallbladder?
Just random bits and pieces assembled like you would see in a classroom maybe, or something like that.
So if Elizabeth is busy with Axel currently, with Raulin, nobody's really looking, I would like to procure that jar.
You reach out for it, and as you grab it, you feel a brief sensation of relief, like you might feel when waking up from a long illness.
Strange sensation. Is the jar like sealed, or is it like a loose cap? Is it something that she can stick in her bag?
It's something you could stick in your bag, yeah.
She does so. And when she does that, I think she takes a moment to make a note. You'd imagine good old Dr. Broderick is sort of taking soap notes on herself. So subjective, objective, prognosis and evaluation. Or that's an extra letter. Don't worry about that. So she's taking soap notes on herself and is writing in the subjective, like strange subject, and writes in third person. Subject reports strange sensation of relief when touching a glass jar, denoted as Dr. Abraham Garnett, my mentor. And then we'll fill out the rest of the notes later.
No problem. You find anything else that you may need, that you may want for this? Raulin has now been laid in bed. Teresia is coming over, and she's got a mortar, and in it there's this ointment that she's kind of crushed together and made. And she says, the tea is boiling. We will administer it after the operation. Doctor, this is made of a special plant called moon vein. Once you have removed the bullets, you should fill the wounds with this paste, as one would a crack in the wall, perhaps, and from the inside bottom all the way out into the outside, and make sure that the entirety of the wound and anything that appears to be necrotizing is well covered by this paste. We will then put bandages, and then we should change this moon vein paste every day or so until the wounds heal.
I imagine she is speaking to Hilda very earnestly. Like, she's not pompous about this at all. And I think that while Hilda wants to sort of puff her chest out and give the effect of, I'm the doctor here, she smiles and bites her tongue and sort of mutters something about strange customs, and she'll oblige. Okay, I'll just leave it there for me, and I will take care of it. And she'll gather up ether, of course, a kidney bowl of, imagine it's steel or porcelain, forceps, and things within her own bag, her personal scalpel, that's just sharp enough to just glint in the light when she pulls it out of the bag, and she sort of gives it a good inspection and grins a little too eagerly at it, and will prepare this operation and sort of lean over Raulin and smile as she prepares the ether and says, okay, you're going to go to sleep for a little bit, but don't worry, I've done this many, many times.
Raulin looks over at Elizabeth and goes, don't let her kill me, please.
I'll do my best.
Ugh, you're terrible, terrible at keeping your promises.
And as you get ready to operate...
Oh, no, go ahead.
Somewhere else in the castle, after walking through a series of twisting not tunnels, but hallways, they're much the same as the others, you find yourself walking through a hallway that is filled on both sides with mirrors. There are tall mirrors that line this hallway from one end to the other, and as you move through them, you notice that your reflection is always a little different. In one mirror, you appear quite older and dressed in mourning clothes. In another, you see yourself as you were several years ago, before everything that happened with Bianca and Isaac. In another mirror, you see no reflection at all, but you see faint condensation, as if someone invisible is breathing on the mirror.
I think this first one where he catches himself looking older in different attire, I think he stopped and kind of feeling his face to make sure he's not looking at a present image. It is quite literally a mirror, right? It is all reactionary. It is the immediate reflection, just
But
the
every
different...
time you look into it, while the mirror matches your moves, it's not quite in sync. It always lags by a heartbeat or so.
Okay.
Almost as if it's hesitating.
Interesting. Fawn, sir, what am I looking at? Why is it...
My name is Grey Earl.
My apologies. You're right. I should not call
If
you...
you would, I could refer to you as human.
You're right. That was entirely on me. I was so caught up in the... you're a very unique individual, and I appreciate that about you.
Not where I come from.
Grey
Where I
Earl.
come from, you would be very unique.
That's fair. Then Gabriel, Grey Earl, I apologize. Grey Earl.
You see that their reflections are completely normal, by the way.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Why do I look so different across this hall? But I notice you're the same. What sorcery, magic? What am I seeing?
Well, I assume that it's because my associate Gunpowder and I are part of this castle while you're from outside of it. You see, this castle is very old. It exists perhaps in some ways outside of time itself. I would wager that, whilst I've never stopped to really contemplate, I would wager that perhaps these mirrors posit possible futures, look back into the past, and try to see the whole of the experience of whoever's in front of them. I would take the fact that you are shown this one as being quite older to mean that you will lead a long life. Of course, it's just a mirror. It could be lying to you.
Oh, I think in most cases the whole thing for a mirror is to not lie and to show me what exactly is in front of me. This older version, this older version of Gabriel, is there any sense of misfortune? Does it seem like it's good or bad? Is it just age that's really told?
Your left eye is missing, and there is a huge scar that runs down the side of your face over your left eye, or where your left eye would have been.
I see. Well, as life stands, the future's looking hopefully more bright than any other thing going on at the moment, so I hate to end up like this.
Well, they do say the present predicts the future and tells the truth about the past, so whatever you are now, you can rest assured that it is the truth. The rest, well, it's perhaps a bit more malleable.
How frequently would you say these change in the course of the day? Could I come back and see something very different in my future?
I don't know. You'll have to come back and see, I guess. I've never seen anything but myself as I am in them. And Gunpowder here, of course, rotund as he is, has never been able to see anything other than this ball of sweat and good intentions that he is.
Understood. Unique. You have... Thank you. Thank you,
What did I
Gunpowder.
tell you about those things inside the castle? Put them away. Yes, use the kazoo. That's much better. Thank you.
Is Gunpowder calm with the symbols? Is it just a light, or is it just like
it's really
Okay.
he's kind of small and they're very small too, so it's kind of like a very tinny kind of.
cool? So it's just almost like whatever the equivalent of a mumble would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool.
And
Got
as for
it.
him, he's pretty calm too. So it's like,
Love that for him.
shall we continue?
Yes, please.
Books await.
Yes, so interested in what else this castle has to offer.
No, so much, but some of the things you might not find quite as entertaining, but others might. This way, You eventually arrive at a door, which he opens. On the other side is a vast, dustless library. There are ladders everywhere that climb up to second and third floors of books stacked one on top of each other. The place has a strange feeling both of being well used and yet never used at the same time. You see books everywhere on every table. There are comfortable chairs. There is a great fireplace that is currently not being used, but gunpowder hops over to it right quick and in a moment has a little bit of a fire going. You hear music coming from a piano that's hidden somewhere behind some of the bookshelves. I trust I can leave you here without fear that you are going to set everything on fire.
Nope, I think we're well prepared. There's plenty to read, and I will keep all of the papers well away from the fireplace. No concern.
Perfect. If you need anything, Mr. Vincent will take care of you. I myself will see you back at the dinner hall later.
That sounds
late
excellent.
for dinner.
I won't. I'm starving. Cannot wait to eat.
And as you say that, you hear a voice right behind you going, "May I bring you something to eat, sir?"
Oh, hello.
You turn around, and standing there behind you is this older gentleman, very well dressed, but in a manner that is from 100 years ago, perhaps, with this big bow tie and this big fluffy shirt and this long-tailed coat. And he is standing there, and he's got a little, like a towel draped over one arm, and he's wearing gloves. And he's like 6'6" or something, and he kind of looks down at you. Would you like something to eat, sir?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not enough to spoil my appetite for dinner, but it's been a long day. I could use a snack or
Anything
something
in
small.
particular?
Oh, perhaps some form of crackers and cheese or some combination.
Crackers and cheese. Would you like a libation to accompany that, sir?
Please, just water would be.
One thing you notice, he's got a British accent, as opposed to everybody else who's been he's very distinctly British.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, just a water along with that would be excellent.
Very well, sir. He stands
You must... Vincent, am I to...
Mr. Vincent.
Mr. Vincent, of course. Mr. Vincent, thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir. You turn to talk to the fawn, and he's no longer there. Mr. Vincent is gone.
Yep.
The fawn's like, you'll get used to it. I would like to remind you of one thing. Our Lord does not hoard knowledge. He collects witnesses. Every guest eventually becomes part of the castle's memory. Make sure that memory is a good one.
Understood. No intentions of making a bad memory. And as he reaches in and pulls up Isaac, correct? We're not causing any problems, correct? That sounds like good enough of an affirmation for me. I think as he sets Isaac down on one of the tables or a desk anywhere, that he's just kind of out free a little bit.
He said he doesn't read, but he does enjoy the taste of paper. Ta-ta! And he turns around.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't be eating any paper. Understand? Not in here. We'll find some later. I think first thing Vincent Gabriel's looking for, is there any immediate, like, big book on a pedestal or anything that kind of stands out from the rest of the library that seems more important?
There's the sound also of wood sliding across wood, and
Okay.
you realize that whenever you turn around, some of the ladders that lead to other books are moving around, but you never see them move. You just hear them. But
Okay.
in fact, on a table in the middle of the place are a number of books that have been laid out.
Okay.
Out of the corner of
I
your
think-
eye, you see movement. A couple of the books are shelving themselves, settling themselves.
Are the books also just as sneaky as when I look away they're moving?
Yes.
Or are they kind of... Okay.
Very much so.
Yeah. I think there's this moment of Gabriel kind of like snapping his head one way or the other, that very cartoony, like trying to catch something moving outside of the corner of his eye. But I think that pile we already mentioned, I think he goes to that and starts to sift through titles and covers and see what's been sitting out. And
there is one, the cover reads Chronicle of the Castle.
Okay.
You pick it up. It's warm to the touch, and you can feel it breathing.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think when you say feel it breathing, is it the entire book is more expanding? Is there like a liveliness to the pages? Okay. Yeah. Gabriel would slowly start to turn the cover, assuming there's some liveliness in this thing, and also attempting not to hurt it or harm it, or knowing that it's potentially a living thing, and start to kind of go through this chronicle and see what is in it.
Yeah, when you go through it, you realize that it is, in fact, a chronicle of the castle. It is written in many different hands, and you can tell that it's been written across several centuries. And it's kind of the history of the castle. Now, while you get that feeling, you can't read most of it. Most of it is in Romanian or another language that you can't read, but you certainly understand that this is what it's about. You see dates and you see things of that nature, and the older paper at the beginning of the book and then the newer one and whatnot. And as you flip through it, you get to the last page and you read, he stepped forward towards the table, picked up one of the books. It felt very warm in his hands, almost as if it was breathing. He opened it, began flipping through the pages. Unfortunately, it was written in a language he did not quite understand, but he could make out through the dates that this was a history of the castle. Eventually, he turned to the last page, and he found himself... And it stops there.
I think Gabriel is intent as he's reading through and catching this moment that is his as he gets to the end, and just the incompleteness of the sentence. He grabs his rucksack and kind of drops it on the table, and you hear that clang as things kind of start to rummage around, and he sifts through looking for his journal again as he slaps it on the table and starts writing about this enchanted book that's telling his story in the moment as he walks through here, and just starts to scribble down the moment to moment, almost a bullet point version of what the book is telling, but almost a reminder of himself, like, don't forget this cool thing that just happened.
And as you're doing that, you notice that another book has appeared. There is a very comfortable looking reading chair with high-backed, wing-backed chair next to the fireplace. With a table next to it, there is a little plate with some crackers and some cheese and a nice tall carafe of water. And there is a book sitting there.
Yeah, he'd walk over and firstly grab a cracker cheese little combo and just take a bite of that. And as he's chewing,
definitely
take a look
cheese.
At this. Oh, perfect. Lovely. Take a look at this second book and see what this one is.
As you pick up the book, you feel a burning sensation in your hand. You open your hand, the book falls to the ground, falls open, and you see the 2 pages in the middle of the book where it opened. You see a drawing of a red sun. The title of the chapter is The Sol Rubeo e Lupus Ultimis, the Red Sun and the Final Wolf. There is on the other page an image of a giant black wolf that seems to be swallowing the sun. And you read beneath the title, when wolf loves wolf more than the world, the red sun shall rise. When wolf loves the world more than the wolf, the night will be held at bay, but never banished.
Gabriel takes a moment and reflects on the larger image of what that is, or how personal that is to this castle and the Baron, and what exactly it reflects on.
You begin to read. Meanwhile, in the infirmary,
The good doctor's here.
the good doctor's here. The good doctor is going to need to make me an agility and medicine roll. Now you are at -1 because you are exhausted.
Don't kill me.
Yes, I won't, but I will be using my medical equipment, which gives me a +2.
Perfect.
And then I will also that's a +2, and then
You do have
I would
a number of
yeah.
troll tubes.
Does that give me an extra die per
2
tooth?
dice per troll tubes.
Can I use 2 for 4? So okay. Oh god, I gotta count now. So that's 4.
Hold on, I'm going to find some really tense music to play.
Kato, it's the fact that you two are in the same room so I can see you glaring at Bleak.
Like, I can't help it sometimes. Yeah, like, there are sometimes where I'm like, are you serious?
Are you fucking kidding me right now, bro?
I don't like shattering the fourth wall like that, but yeah, sometimes it happens.
So with the 9 dice that I rolled, was a lot of dice. I had to count. I rolled 4 successes. I'm very good.
You're very good. You start digging. You start with the bullet in the shoulder, as it's less life-threatening than the other one. You dig and dig, and the first thing you notice as you dig for it is that you're starting to see shards and slivers of silver in the wound. And as you dig deeper, you're finding that the damage you're doing with the scalpel, for example, as you're, creating incision to get to the thing, is very difficult to do. It's as if his skin is extremely tough and you're having difficulty cutting, and it's almost as if it tries to heal as you cut it, but eventually you manage to pull the bullet, and when you do, you notice that it is in fact a silver bullet, and it has shattered and spread little shards of silver everywhere inside the wound.
I think with Elizabeth there, she sort of, as she's working, one hand on forceps, the scalpel in the other hand, and with the scalpel hand, she sort of beckons her over.
Yes, doctor, what can I do for you?
Would you be so kind as to take notes as I dictate? I'm very curious about this, and also, have you ever seen such a thing?
Not recently.
Not recently, but you have.
Yes.
I would like you to extrapolate, please.
There are some in this world I believe folklore would call them shapeshifters.
Aha. I see. She sort of looks at you for a moment and she's being polite. Very curious, and Silver. Silver hurts these shapeshifters.
Yes. There are a variety of theories, I believe. The more popular one that is given by the church is the fact that silver is a holy metal or some such. And those who are of that particular ilk are damned. But I also heard someone say something about how it could just potentially be some kind of an allergic reaction, which makes a little more sense.
There we are. I have perhaps maybe I'm on the way to overstepping myself, Elizabeth, but you seem like a nice lady, and you seem with your wits about you, and I can appreciate that. Somebody who is forthcoming with information, I will always appreciate. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in things of folklore. I believe what is in front of me is a necrotizing tissue, and silver aiding in that destruction of the flesh. I'm a seer to believer, if you will. I'm a woman of science, despite my eccentrics.
Of course. I see nothing wrong with that. Science. You say you do not believe in God, and I understand that. He and I have never really been on speaking terms. But what is science if not an extension of what some might consider divine? You are able to do wonderful and miraculous things with the knowledge that you have gained for yourself.
Yes, because I studied hard, because I took the tests, because I proved my worth with a scalpel in my hand and a body on a bed before me, because I learned there is no divine intervention in this play here. Have you ever been to an operating theater before?
I cannot say that I have.
Should we meet again, or if you have business in Prague, look me up. I will be happy to take you there, and you may see the active man, or in this case, woman. And I will be kind enough to take you to a nice church, and we will talk to your God. But for now, if you could just hold this, and she hands over a kidney bowl while she's like trying to like filter out these shards of silver, and also her pad of paper and pen, and she starts sort of mumbling about her findings and just hopes that you keep up with her rattling as she's going on.
And Elizabeth will take dictation. It's not something that she is unused to, but under her breath, she just sort of mumbles, "Oh no, my gods are much older."
And I perform excellent surgery.
Goddamn right.
You do perform excellent surgery, and when you go to remove the bullet in the chest, it's the same thing. You find the same wounds, the same bullets, the same shards, but you manage in time to remove all of it. Can I get Raulin a physique plus force roll, please?
This sounds promising.
You're fine. You've got Dr.
totally fine.
Shola.
I'm going to be rolling 2 dice, so I'm going to use a troll tooth and get an extra 1 or 2? Extra 2 dice per tooth. Okay, well, I'm going to use 2 troll tooths and go ahead and roll these here, so I don't.
Please don't die on the table. That would make the story very short.
Not under Dr. Broderick's care, damn it.
What happened while I was gone, everybody?
2 successes, I believe.
You feel every little bit of the pain as the doctor digs into you. Once she starts removing the bullets, once she starts removing the shards, all of it burns, all of it reopens the wound, all of it aggravates things. You feel something stir deep inside of you, that part of you where you retreat to, that primal part of you where you retreat to when you are in pain, when you are afraid, when you are in danger. You start feeling that popping in your joints. The way your muscles feel taut. You bear down on it. You bear down. Try not to let it take you over. Try not to give over into it. You start thinking. Try to find something to think about that might help you keep your cool. What would you think about?
I think very distinctly about a cottage on a lakeside in Denmark. And my sweet husband, Rasmus, there at the stove with his shirt sleeves rolled up, making a fine dinner, our boots by the door, our Irish wolfhound weaving about our ankles, and a fire roaring in the fireplace. And I just keep flashing into that image, in and out of the searing pain, and the voice in my head, and back to the cottage, and around again.
Gabriel, as you read the book, you read about the Order of the Red Sun. The tome identifies the order as an ancient wolf cult, predating Christianity in the Carpathians. One of the quotes in the book is, "They name themselves not servant of darkness, but its custodians, for night is not evil, only inevitable." You read through some of the key points that you pick up. The Order believes the world is overdue for an ending, one that will cleanse corruption, industry, false light. They worship something called the Varkolak, which is described as a colossal wolf, older than the moon, neither Holy Spirit nor flesh. The Varkolak is prophesied to devour both sun and moon, plunging the world into an age of eternal twilight. Raulin, as you think of the cottage, think of Rasmus, you see something strange. A hall that is not in a college. An arched window at the other end. Outside of it you see the Carpathian peaks, bathed in moonlight. And you see, strangely, hanging in the sky, 2 full moons. One is bright and silver, steady and distant. The other is darker, tinged with red, closer to you, pulsing faintly, like a heart. Gabriel, on the nature of the Varkolak, you read, the Varkolak does not hate the light. It eats it because it is hungry and because it was made to do so. The Varkolak cannot be summoned by ritual alone and must be born into the world through blood-bound wolves. The text repeatedly emphasizes choice rather than force. Raulin, as you watch, the moons begin to overlap, casting 2 shadows. You see that you are outside, standing in the snow. In the shadow of the silver moon, you see Rasmus, wounded but alive, kneeling in the snow. His wolf form flickers uncontrollably as though fighting something inside. He looks up to you, not in pain but in relief, as if seeing an end to his suffering. In the shadow of the dark moon, you see forests, blackened, frozen, church bells cracked, falling silent. You see wolves gathering at the edge of villages, not attacking yet, just watching. You see the sunrise weak, pale and cold. In the book, a margin note written in a different hand says, "It must be allowed. This is the cruel mercy of it. Not all wolves are meant to survive the final night. Some are meant to be loved, so that the sacrifice has weight." Raulin, you notice that both shadows, are cast by you. Gabriel, you see the final chapters of the book are gone. Ripped out. Elizabeth, Dr. Broderick, you recoil in fear as you see not Raulin on the table, but a giant man-wolf, long limb covered in fur, hands tipped with claws, long teeth gleaming, a growl of rage and pain coming from its throat as it stands, bounds out of the bed. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end tonight.
Shit.
Damn it, Bleak.
Why must you do this? Why?
Oh, this is Danny's first time getting bleaked. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you did it.
Oh, welcome. I'm so sorry. Welcome. I'm so sorry.
It's all
Yeah. No, you're in for a ride, homie.
One of us. One of
One
us.
of us.
right.
Everybody good? Everybody
Wow.
okay?
Yep.
Golden. Yeah,
Like a
great.
shower.
Thanks, Mo.
My favorite kind.
I just not. And Elizabeth is thinking to herself, "God damn it, not again."
Dr. Broderick is thinking, I'm a doctor, not a veterinarian. Wowza!
Gabriel's just reading a storybook. There's no idea anything else is happening. This is great. What a fascinating piece of fiction.
Absolutely.
That's not real or anything.
Thank you very much, my friends. I really appreciate y'all being here and doing this with me.